She's the CEO of KCLH Full Business Solutions, Bridge Nation. And from here that so it's now time for Business 101. And this is just a time we get to help bridge the gaps between trying and knowing in the business world. All right, so right now, this week, Dr. Christie will be guiding us through meeting customer needs and satisfying the demand that exists. So already, mind you see the trajectory. So last week we spoke about the marketing strategy, the marketing
positioning
piece
of the business. Yes.
Yeah. So Dr. Christie is here again with us to just make sure so we get a full understanding as it relates to reaching our customers. Good morning, Dr. Christie.
Good morning.
They change the microphone on me.
Yeah. All right, go on again now.
Yeah. There you go.
Morning, Dr. Christie.
Good morning.
Yeah, there she is. All right, Dr. Christie. All right, so walk us through as it relates to meeting customer needs and satisfying the demand that exists. What's the first step?
Okay, the first step is ensuring that you have that. I always say intimate. You have to know the customers and ensure that all the nuances about the customer that you have that pat. So one of the things we look at as it relates to customer needs is look at whether or not that customer has seasonal needs, if you have the locations and so on. So you have to have an in-depth analysis of the customer. So in order for you to satisfy that need, you have to do your homework. You have to know exactly what that customer demands at a particular point in time. Okay. So that is why the previous session was so critical. Understanding the customer, understanding the place where you have to have it, understanding the type of products, if you have to do some tweaking to that or not. So getting into the depth of the customer is extremely important. And of course, I'm going to tell you that at KCLH, we train you on that. So once you come in, we hold your hands as it relates to the whole customer analysis and the marketing mix. And I want to emphasize customer needs and how it develops into your supply and demand, because it is critical that we understand these concepts. This is where our business either advances or belly up. So if we don't get it's the customer that builds the business and the growth and have that. So in order for us to move forward, we have to understand, hey, we have a customer, but we understand that you have similar customers at this location, so the logistics is also critical. So place, then we come back to place. We also have to understand, from day one we spoke about finances and how we'll get the finances. It is at this juncture we recognize where we'll put what funds. We recognize that the customer needs now for our product or service, it is dispersed across different locations. Sometimes it will go globally. Where do we put our money now? Are we going to put it in storage, logistics, and so on? So it is critical from the 7 P's that we discussed last week now into the customer needs and then our finances. So everything is now married and in sync. So we have to know now, okay, for the customer's needs or location, we have to have different locations. We have to be spending some of the funds that we got, whether by loan, friends, or whatever, to identify locations where we can have either storage or shops or whatever as our service if we're providing service. Then we look into, as we look at the finances, we don't want to get too enthused and overstock.
Before you go on to the stock levels, I want to just zoom in on that place and positioning.
Yes.
Many people, entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs would say, all right, this is a global space. I have met a few who have said, all right, listen, I'm not too keen on having a storefront. My business is going to be internet-based. Are you catering to entrepreneurs who would be of that mind?
Definitely. So then we go into the technology of that now and look at the e-commerce platforms and things like that. So again, we have to look at the people, we have to look at the IT specialist and those persons now. Then we go into the other P, the persons who you need on board in order to assist with delivering the products or the service or the online space. We have to take all of that into consideration. And again, it comes back to the finances and how much we will spend to get these things in place. It must make sense. The benefits of having all of that must outweigh the cost in order for us to survive.
So the bright minds that say, listen, she talking about the traditional places of having store and locations. Me not talk to she because she not the point with me the point. You are letting them know that you are right there with them and you are totally affair with the e-commerce aspect of establishing a business.
Exactly. We know that the whole brick and mortar is pretty much eroded. So we are at that place as well. We are where the market is at. And of course, we can provide all the services. As we said, full business solutions. We provide all the solutions to your business. Come in, get a consultation, and we'll take it from there.
So Dr. Christine, speaking of solutions, has there ever been a case where it's like, you know, a client comes in and them, you kill them dead, you know, there's a demand for what they're pushing. But you guys at KCLH say, oh, you know that, you know, there's not really a demand for what you're pushing. Has there ever been a scenario like that? And if a scenario like that pops up, how do you guys handle that? Is it the case do you tell the client, you know, try and find something else, or you guys dig deep until the demand arrives? So
we have never had a case where somebody would come in and there's not a market or a niche for it. So we find that the Jamaican space a lot of bright minds. Okay, good. But what we would advise is that a proper market analysis, because once you come up with a concept, it must, you know, we look and we do the research on your behalf. And at that point, so again, research and development, we will do the research and ensure that pretty much if it's a no, we will give you the advice and, you know, you go and think about another line that you could probably take up. But research and development is critical when someone comes in with a concept to see if it will grow. We don't believe in failure.
That's right.
I've gotten that absolutely clear. And so when you started the conversation, you touched on a point. Some people might have business or products that are seasonal.
Correct.
You would directly help them to say, all right, this is your product, you know, but you know, say this work in at this time of the year. So what else are you going to do to balance it throughout the rest of the time?
So at KCLH, one of the things that we push as well to our entrepreneurs is always think of some amount of passive income. So when you come in, we say, okay, you might have that concept, but this is only Christmas season. You will get the sales that can carry you throughout the year. What else is there that can either be a byproduct of product, another service that you can offer, or it can be some passive income, something, everything. There's a huge online and global market. What else can you think about? That during these seasons when it's more down, you have funds coming in. Because remember, with a business other than that is online, you have fixed costs, which is one of the things that we'll go into in depth. There are costs associated with operating, and there's a certain amount of fixed costs for the traditional businesses. So we have to be very careful.
Understood. No, this is for the benefit. I don't know if the Bridge Nation going to agree with me, but that's what me stay. When me in a class, me just ask questions for myself. If nobody in that class don't want to answer for them business that. But you mentioned a lot about the 7 P's of marketing and how it really would help in terms of identifying, you know, satisfying the customer's needs and demands. Is it all 7 that's important in this area, or you have certain P's that, you know, you should focus on more?
All right, so for the global and online audience, other than having the technology, the place don't become so critical. So we can back out that P. And of course, that is why it's called the marketing mix. You come to KCLH and we see the concept, the idea that you have. They are the P's that we will say, okay, we definitely have to have the promotion throughout, depending on the space. But there are certain P's that would not be necessarily suitable for your company.
Oh, it varies.
It varies.
Okay, understood.
We are coming close to the time is elapsing quickly. But what I want to ask you, Dr. Christie, when we come up with this grand idea, we're focusing on meeting the customer's need. What happens when the populace never know them need the product we may have? How do we develop? That is where the marketing really comes in. Yes,
correct. Because in that phase where you're doing the marketing, you will see how the populace would respond to the product. It is at that time now you come and you say, okay, how much do I need to supply? And that is why we have these steps, because that is how you know how you will actually have the meet the demands and where to put the funds now. So that is, you see, the mix and all of that and how it comes into place now. And then of course you always talk about the sales. This is where we're going. That is where we're going to now.
Okay. All right. So that sounds like sales strategy and such next week when we chat again. You always come with some paragraphs of information, and I don't think we go through all of them, Dr. Christie. When I look over there on that sheet of paper, I said she must have something else over there we should not share it, Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
You touched on one thing that we sort of preempting the other session, but proving out the sales dynamics that will support efficient growth.
Okay.
I want persons to think about that.
A whole heap of words in academia a whole heap of words in academia
no, man, the sales, we have to do the marketing, so we understand what the marketing is, right? Identifying the market and see how the customer needs and all of that. But then when you think come after that?
Get the money.
Get the sales. Can I remember, so we have the loans and all of that, and we have the friend them to repay.
True.
So we have to ensure now we have the sales dynamics and to ensure efficient growth. And of course, KCLH again, because we have the experts in the building. And so we will put you on that trajectory.
All right, you don't know the thing going on, Dr. Christie. Bridge Nation excited as always, and we can't make you leave without leaving some contact information for KCLH Full Business Solutions.
Okay, so start with the telephone number. It's 876-754-3748, and IG it's KCLH Jamaica, and we're located at the Real Equity Suites, 218 Mountain View Avenue, Kingston 6.
All right. Ready? You good? You ready to start the business yet, or are you still in a class?
Each week she steps there. I just want to ask you, handle DJ business.
Of course!
We're going to talk.
We're going to talk.
Of course.
The brand expand, we're going to need some professional support. You understand?
All right. Well, Bridge Nation, that was Business 101 with Dr. Kesha Christie, CEO of KCLH Full Business Solutions. Dr. Christie, thank you so much for once again enlightening us. And really, man, I know so she do the DJ thing.
I forgot. I'm a business, of course. So
once you feel yourself as a business, Bridge Nation,
you need to talk to Dr. Christie.
That is it.
Till next week, Dr. Christie. Walk good.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure.
Thanks.